Hello, everybody, and welcome to Steel Sanctuary Podcast. I'm your host, Dave Ribeiro from SteelSanctuary.com. And this is my co host, David Korup. Dave, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on?
Well, trade deadline came and went. Steelers made zero moves. Um, I guess the Jalen Johnson thing was close, but the Bears were asking for a shit ton. Second round pick for that guy. I mean, he's got an 84.4, you know, PFF rating, but I don't know if you call him an elite corner. I wouldn't have given up a second round pick for him. I don't know how you think about it.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, we fleeced the shit out of the Bears last year. There was no way in hell they were not going to take a chance of not getting something probably other than a second round pick to make up for their loss from last. I just there's no way they were going to get something big for him, and I credit the Steelers for not doing it. I told you I did not want them to give up a first or second rounder to get someone because I just don't want them giving up that kind of draft capital right now. I think that there's a lot of things we're not sure yet about some players that we may need to go get, their replacement come next year. Maybe offensive lineman on top of possibly quarterback. I know. But at the same time, I am just saying, like, I think first, second rounder, those rounds need to be used on either offensive lineman or if Kenny's not the guy, that's what I would think about possibly using him on just in case. You can't give up that draft capital right now, and it looks like they weren't willing to do it.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with that. But see, I'm kind of also pissed off because I'm kind of like, why didn't you go get a guy, a rental, a guy that is solid to good on his last year of his contract? Why did they not even try? They were so worried about going and getting the top ranked guy from the Bears that they didn't have to do that.
Yeah. I mean, Rasul Douglas, who went to the Bills for a fourth rounder, that's the one that comes to mind. I mean, I don't know how I haven't done a lot of work on Rasul Douglas. I don't know how he's playing, but he's got to be better than Patrick Peterson and Levi Wallace, right? I mean, that's an
Yeah,
upgrade. For a fourth round pick, I might have done that one, even though I think I'm with you. I think they need their draft picks. If they're not going to go out and hit a home run, I'd pretty much rather they just stand pat and let's just. How much does Rasul Douglas move the needle? I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I know it's disappointing as a fan. You want to see your team go and better themselves, right?
Yep.
But it didn't happen. And I told you I didn't like the tone in the
Yeah, you
way
did
Mike
say that.
Tomlin
You
made
did
that
say that.
comment that, well, we're open for business. And it was like, that sounds like if they want to call you, it didn't sound like a team
Yeah.
that was ready to be aggressive and make some moves. Because I thought about it and I was like, he could have worded that. He could have said, well, you know what, we're gonna be aggressive and seeing what people's wants and needs are and see if we can work things out to better this football team, right? He didn't
Yeah.
say that. He just said, well, phone lines up and it was just like, well, what? Like that's your attitude towards it? That didn't sound like a team aggressively wanting to go get people. They tried for one player they liked.
Yep.
That's it.
Um, yeah, the Bears were holding because there was a few teams in on him too, not just the Steelers, and they all ended up dropping out. The Bills wanted him; they ended up going to get Douglas, and there was a couple other teams that escape my mind right now. But in the end
Oh,
of the
the
day,
49ers were involved.
yeah, the
49ers,
49ers are another team.
yeah, it
Speaking
was
of the
49ers,
49ers, though,
Buffalo. There was one other. Was it Dallas?
maybe
I can't.
Dallas,
It might have been.
Philly, or somebody. There was another team in there.
Yeah, something like that.
Um, Speaking of the 49ers, Dave, they go get Chase Young. Jesus Christ. I mean, I love the way the 49ers do business, man. The 49ers and the Eagles, there's no mistake that those two teams are the best teams in the NFC and probably around the league. It's so aggressive. They make things happen.
There's no mistake that these teams know what they're doing
Yep.
from the
And the
top
Eagles
down.
got
They
Byard.
know
That's a
they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing on offense, on defense. They know to be aggressive in free agency. They go get any weakness they have whatsoever. They eliminate
fix it. Fix it.
and
Yep.
fix it. And must be nice.
I
That's
mean,
all I can
granted,
say.
the Steelers aren't in the same place as those two teams. They're not on the cusp of a Super Bowl like the Eagles and 49ers are, but still,
I
you do
I
something.
agree that in reality they're not, but Tom and them, I think they in their head they think they are,
Oh,
and that's
definitely.
what bugs the hell out of you. You're just like you guys are not in the same tier as these other teams. Like, I don't know what you're thinking, but no, you need to go fix. You got a leaky faucet in that secondary right now, and you need to do something about it. And they're not going to. So they tried one guy and gave up.
Yep. I mean, corner's got to be the number one priority in the draft, right? At this point, unless Kenny falls off the map completely.
Man, can you imagine? You'd use the 32 on Joey, and then now you're going to have to use another top pick. I don't know, dude. Here's my problem. They need O lineman bad.
They do need that too.
I look. They have a center that shouldn't be. He doesn't belong there. He's not good enough.
They're going to need
right now,
one lineman.
Their right tackle is suspect. We're at the point where they might be moving. I don't know. Did you see what Zachary Smith put out there today that he's hearing rumblings?
I don't know if I buy it. I'll see it. Believe it when I see that.
Well, for people that don't know, apparently he's hearing that it looks like Broderick Jones is going to go to left tackle and Moore's going to go to right tackle. Is that what I remember? I saw correctly?
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
So, I brought this up last podcast. Remember, I said one of the things they could do to better their line is within the team. Just put Chooks on the bench because to me he's average or worse every game. So
could you make the argument that Dan Moore was worse in this Jaguars game? He was pretty bad.
He was facing their top defensive edge rusher, right? I mean,
yes.
I'm just if we're being fair, but see, I'm not even talking about that kind of stuff. I'm talking about stuff like not picking up the right guy to block.
Yeah,
there's a lot of things that Chooks did that was bad. I know, I get what you're saying. I honestly do, but I mean, if evil versus evil here, like what better evil here? Like, look, I just want Broderick Jones out there, okay? If Broderick Jones is out there, I feel like at least that makes them partially better. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
We're protecting our quarterback's blind side with the right tackle, the tackle that needs to be there, right? This is the right guy. So now he's back at left tackle. That's what I want. That's what Steelers Nation probably wants. And Chooks can sit the bench. And I think that Moore actually could be an upgrade just for the sheer fact of how bad Chooks has been. At least Moore showed some flashes in some games. Now, there's some games where he was horrendous. At the beginning of the season, he was absolutely the worst tackle in football. But
he's pretty bad this last game.
He had a good game against the Rams. He had a okay to there's some not so good looks with him this game. But Chooks I thought was worse. I really thought he was worse.
Here's why I like this. It's if you see what you have. I mean, Broderick Jones is going to be the left tackle next year. So where does Dan Moore play? Is he going to be the right tackle next year? Let's find out now. Let's find out now if he can do it. So that way we know if he can't do it, you got to go get somebody. Right now, if you keep playing Chooks, you'll never know what Dan Moore can do at right tackle. I put it out on Twitter. They should have tried to see what they could get for Chooks. And then just played it. Even if you think you can still win, make this move now so you know what you have if Dan Moore can play right tackle.
I agree.
We know how the Steelers operate, though. I mean, do you expect to see this? Because I don't. I really don't.
It's not that I expect it. I'm just hoping.
Especially in a short week.
I'm just hoping that it happens.
Yeah, I know. Me too.
It's more of a, it's just kind of been what it's like with the Steelers now. You don't expect anymore. You just hope. Yeah. You just hope that they see the light sooner or later. They finally did what Joey Porter Jr. took them how many games? Far more than it took us to realize. And now with this whole thing with Chooks and Moore and Broderick Jones needs to be out there, man. He needs to be out there. And he's another one. He's another one. Get your rookie experience. If he's already went out there and proven he can handle it, then put him out there. But for me, Chooks is not even average anymore. He's made too many mistakes. You got a guy standing in front of you to your right. It's the edge rusher. He's going to come. He didn't even chip him, Dave. He didn't even put a hand out there to stop any of his forward progress towards the QB. He just went and tried to help double the other guy. And it was like, what are you doing? You did just bad. Bad.
I agree.
And
so looking,
yeah, good.
Look into next year. For me, you need new offensive line coach first and foremost, and start over with him. And then you need at least 2 offensive linemen. Mason Cole's got to go. You can move James Daniels to center or leave him. Then whatever you do, you need a center, and possibly a right tackle, depending on if Dan Moore can play or not. That which we probably won't find out. So,
Right.
but minimum, yeah, I'd say 2. I say go get a right tackle.
I agree. They either got to go get a right guard or a center because Daniels can do either.
Yeah.
And then possibly a right tackle. And
you know what?
I would still do it. I still might take 2 just in case. I mean, you don't know, man. Like Sayamalu's not getting any younger either. He could, and he's been better, but there's been chunks where he hasn't looked that great. He slipped in this game. Exactly.
He didn't play very well.
I'm not so sure about him either, moving forward next year. So I would definitely go get 2. I'd go get 2, and corner is another one. It just sucks that you spent a top 32 on one, but all the people you've brought in are horrendous on top of your draft pick. So now you got to go get another one. I don't know how.
Now that I think about it a little bit, Dave, maybe they sign a corner, a veteran, so they don't have to,
Well, you've put me off to that. You've put me off to that now. Now I'm just like, nope, don't sign any damn guys in their 30s. Don't go.
Well, no, I don't want a guy in his 30s.
This kid better be 25, and it better be a young 25.
Yeah, true.
I don't. You've proven your point to me now with Patrick Peterson. I don't.
I don't know if you want a rookie corner and a second-year corner either as you're starting 2 corners. I think you got to have at least one veteran. But yeah, you're right. It can't be a 34-year-old.
Yeah, no, you've convinced me of this, and I've seen it now. I've learned my ways. Like, there's no fucking way I want them ever going near a 33, 34-year-old corner again. Ever.
We'll go over the free agent class and corners at some point, but maybe not today. Let's wrap up the trade deadline just for the hell of it. Josh Dobbs gets traded to the Vikings. I like that move for the Vikings.
I do too.
They're going to be bad, but he'll keep them above water.
He's serviceable. Move. He's serviceable. Like, he's not that bad. I mean, look what he did with the Cardinals. He was keeping them in games a lot. I mean, I know they're 1-6 or whatever, but like still, he kept them in games, man. And beat the Cowboys. Like, it's not bad. So
when James Conner was healthy, they were playing well, and then when he got hurt, that's when they fell off a little bit. Story of his life, right? Would you take Josh Dobbs over Mitch Trubisky right now? Because I think I would.
Over Mitch Trubisky?
Yeah. And Mason and Mason Rudolph. I'd take him on both.
I'm gonna tell you right now, if he doesn't turn the ball over as much as them, then yes, I would take him. Because that's the thing. Your backup QB is supposed to be a guy that doesn't turn the ball over that much. Like, you want to be one thing, be a guy that doesn't turn the ball over. That is the exact opposite of what Mitch Trubisky is. Yeah. And you could argue that Mason Rudolph is the
Mason's
same.
got that in him too. Got that in him too. He'd be $7 million cheaper too. I could tell you that much. When you factor that in, it's a win-win.
Don't even get me started. I still can't believe they did that. But
this is what worries me about Kenny Pickett and the Steelers' ability to evaluate quarterback.
Yeah,
they don't have a fucking clue what they're doing.
No.
I'm getting more and more convinced every day. You draft Josh Dobbs, and you immediately discard him for Mason Rudolph, who you told everyone you had a first-round grade on, which was horseshit because he was nowhere near a first-round quarterback. He doesn't work out. You signed Mitch Trubisky, which, like we talked about last podcast, we were all in on that. But they should know better. They should know that Mitch Trubisky has these shortcomings. He's not going to be good. They sign him. They draft Kenny Pickett in the worst quarterback draft in 10
a long
years,
time.
20 years. Yeah. Their quarterback evaluation has been spotty at best.
Yeah. It's kind of like them with corners usually. Corner, they're not good at corners usually.
It's a good point. They have these blind spots sometimes. They can draft edge rushers all day long. But
wide receivers and edge rushers all day, baby. But when you get to quarterbacks and corners, we are lost in the woods. We got to send the dogs out to get you.
I like that. All right, a couple more. Montez Sweat got a second-round pick from the Bears. The Bears, man, they throw those second-round picks around like they're candy. I don't know. He's a free agent. He's a pretty good player. He's a free agent next year.
But why? Why are they doing this? Why are you pretending to be a buyer when you're like really bottom should be selling? Like, it didn't make any sense.
I mean,
they wanted the Steelers second. They wanted the Steelers second to replace that.
Yep.
Just dumb. How about you make the trade with the Steelers first? That way you know you have the second round.
Second in your pocket before you do
then go trade that pick.
Exactly. I mean, even still, you've already pissed away a second. Why not take a third back just to recoup something instead of holding onto the guy? The Bears, man. Ryan Poles, I think, is the general manager. I don't know if he's long for that job. I really don't. Because if this
No,
kid Sweat walks away as a free agent, or they have to overpay him and pay him like $25 million a year just to keep him, boy, that's not good.
it
Uh,
doesn't make sense.
Lennon Williams went to the Seahawks. That's a good pickup for them. And Kevin Byard going to the Eagles. That's a great. We know the Eagles do great things. It's not a surprise.
Yeah, they do well.
Let's go over the injury report. We didn't get an injury report for today, as we're recording this at like 3 p.m. Eastern time. It sounds like Cam Hayward and Anthony McFarland could be goes. Kenny Pickett said he's playing.
Yep.
Thank God. So that's decent. We know Minka's not playing. We don't know what the story. We still haven't gotten a good timetable on Minka Fitzpatrick, right?
I think Eric Keaton type blipped on that. They don't.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, I just don't. I don't know. They're saying it's bad. So
You're looking
I
at
think.
minimum 4 weeks, right?
Yep.
Minimum 4 weeks.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting to see like when they put him on. They're probably gonna put him on IR next week. That's probably what will happen.
I think actually today or
They have
tomorrow
to do it
would
by
be the day,
Saturday.
right? Well, they have to do it by today or
Well,
tomorrow for this game.
oh, so for
To
Thursday
include
games, it's
this
probably
game.
today, right? It's like 24 hours out or something like that. Correct? I know they usually do on Saturdays for
Yeah.
Sunday games.
Yeah, we probably would hear something today, right?
So we hear something probably today. Oh,
I
I've got
mean,
my phone opened up right now. It's going to start notifying me of every notification. I'm waiting.
yeah, if you're gonna put Minka on IR, do it today. Get this game in, unless they don't think he's got a prayer coming back, for 5 weeks. Then they don't
it
not
could,
in a
well,
rush.
wait, maybe they're not putting him on the air because maybe they think that you could speculate. Maybe they think it'll only be like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. But
If he doesn't go on the IR today, I would expect him back 3 to 4 weeks. That means he's on the cusp, the borderline, and they don't want to use it.
yeah,
Not that anybody cares, but Levi Wallace was a limited participant in practice on Tuesday, so whatever. He's not playing. He's not playing.
yeah.
Joey Porter's playing. We'll live. We'll hold our nose and live with Pat Pete on the other side.
Yeah.
I don't want to see Levi Wallace again unless something tragic happens. All right, let's get into the game tomorrow night. Tennessee Titans. This is a winnable game, Dave. They need to win this game.
Yeah.
They
they
need
can.
to win
They
this game.
can. They can win it.
Um,
There's no doubt.
Obviously, Will Levis had a crazy 4 touchdown game last week against the Falcons. I wanted to watch that game today and I didn't get a chance. Their offense is bad. It's about as bad as the Steelers' offense. Their passing offense is actually lower than the Steelers, if you can believe that. The Steelers are 28th in the league in yards. The Titans are 30th.
Yeah, as I told you before, D Hop was very, very affected by Tannehill. He's not himself. He wasn't that great of a quarterback in the first place, but I mean, like now he's really not that good. He's had a down year. He's been injured. Malik Willis is not what they thought.
No, Malik Willis is a train wreck.
Yeah. But man, I'll tell you what, this Will Levis, I mean, they were down on him too. He came in there and lit it up. I watched the highlights and just going off of highlights, purely highlights, I was in awe of his arm. I mean, he was throwing, it looked like 60-yard bombs, Dave.
There were Josh Allen comps to this kid.
That's
what was
you're
floating
right.
around.
It's so funny you say. I was thinking the same thing. Yeah.
So he's got an arm. He can run. How good he is overall, we're going to find out. I mean,
yeah.
Steelers secondary is one they can get healthy on. But
Treylon Burks, another guy that they drafted, I think, last year, but he's injured a lot too. So I think that's had an effect on them.
Can't talk about their offense without Derrick Henry, right?
Yeah. I mean, I was going to bring up their tight end, Okwontu or whatever how you say his name. I ain't going to try to pronounce that again. Yeah. He's not that great of a tight end. So it's like
their offense is shaky.
Yeah. They got King Henry, man. And even he's had a down year, but he's so dangerous. Yeah. But that Spears kid has showed a lot of flash for them, the rookie Spears.
Yep.
But he's injured too. He's got like an ankle injury.
Titans can't catch a break this year.
No, they've had some bad luck too. So yeah, the right tackle Chris Hubbard, questionable.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, dude, they're definitely dealing with some injuries on offense. That's like that Peter Skarinsky. Remember how I love Skarinsky for the draft? He
Yep.
was injured this year too. They've had,
Yep.
yeah, he's been injured too. So like, yeah, they've been dealing with a lot of injuries. But Will Levis, for a rookie coming into that game and throwing 4 TDs, that'll definitely get your attention.
Yep. It's a short week for a rookie quarterback. You would
Mm-hmm.
think that he might struggle in this game and the Steelers defense,
Yes.
but you also got to think it's going to be Pat Peterson, Miles Killebrew, maybe Demonte
Good.
Casey, and JPJ as a secondary. That's terrifying.
The fact that we are
That's
taking a
terrifying.
breath to say Miles Kilbrew out there on defense is absolutely incredible to me. That this is happening.
Yep.
Like, and I'm sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, like, Darius Rush can't get a little bit of playing time, a little bit.
Um, I think we might see him a little bit if they decide to move Pat Pete inside a
Like
couple times in
I
in
like I
nickel. We'll
yeah, like
see.
I had I had my expectations tempered last week because he just got with the team the week before that. I get it,
Yeah.
but
Yep.
we're 10 days in, maybe a little more since he's been added to the team, bro. Like you can't get much worse than what we're seeing out there. Give
Yeah.
the give the alien, as we call them, the 6'2",
Yeah.
can run like a deer, 4.3 40 guy. Put him out there, man. See what he can do. Because I'm tired of seeing Patrick Peterson get picked on by tight ends and slot wide receivers and get burned by the outside wide receiver. Like I'm tired of this, man. So give that guy a shot. Just give him a shot.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't the week to do it, I guess, but I mean, isn't Patrick Peterson a better answer at free safety than Miles
He,
Killebrew? I mean,
yes,
it
I
would have
actually
to be, right?
I talked to somebody about this today on Twitter or X, whatever, and I said that. I said I'm surprised they haven't talked about putting Patrick Peterson at safety. It should happen, especially if Minka's out for a while, because that was the didn't they mention that was a possibility with him in the
Yeah.
first place? Was him
Oh,
getting
they said
bumped
it last
there?
week. He's Cam Sutton. He's going to play all over the place. I
Yeah,
mean,
well,
Cam Sutton didn't play safety, but he played slot and everything else. They
stick his
did say
ass there
safety.
because he shouldn't be covering people on the outside. Please.
I, yeah, I tend to think maybe not this week, but the following week we might see Patrick Peterson at free safety. We'll see. It's got. I mean, Killebrew's one of the best special team guys in the league. I love him.
Yeah.
But man, he's not a starting safety. He's a
No.
special teams guy, and that's where it
No,
stops.
I agree. He's a top tier special teams guy. He's awesome. But
I mean,
as
I
far
guess you could
as
go Casey and Neal.
playing defense,
I'm short shifting Neal a little bit, but Neal stinks too. I mean, let's be honest.
yeah,
That he's not good.
he's the word to describe them is slow. They're so slow.
Yeah.
They can't keep up with these wide receivers. They just
There
can't.
was a lack of speed in the secondary. It's glaring,
Oh,
especially with Minka out because Minka's a fast guy. He's a
well, that was
guy.
what brought it to light when Minka was
Yep.
out. Good Lord, it got ridiculous after that.
Yep.
Etienne, Kirk, Ridley, Ingram
Oh, they had no
were
chance.
running.
They had no
were
chance.
running like crazy out there. Like it was bad.
The good news is this is more of a plotting team. Derrick Henry, D Hop. These are not speed guys. These are, although we saw D Hop get a lot of big make a lot of big plays. He doesn't win with speed. He wins with routes and route running and being physical.
Yeah.
So maybe that's better for Patrick Peterson. I think this is a much better matchup than Jacksonville. I mean, I don't think we can argue that. Tennessee's defense. Oh, one more thing before we flip over to that. And the Titans have more touchdowns this year than the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's 12-10. It's just every time you think you've heard every bad stat in the Steelers offense, the Titans are not a good football team. But they're in a third quarterback. It's just what the.
So what you're saying is this is going to be a close game.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be the rock fight of all rock fights.
These teams. Yeah, this is going to be like a 13-9 fucking
hammer under, man. Hammer
snooze fest. No offense.
Yeah. They're gonna ruin our Thursday night. There's no doubt.
Or fucking oh boy, just starts slinging the ball at D Hop, and our guys are out there just looking like clowns.
Yeah, please don't say that. Yeah, this will have the whole national audience asleep by the second quarter. Tennessee's defense is pretty good. Jeffrey Simmons is one of the best defensive tackles in football. Man, that dude's a monster. Yeah. They got Harold Landry, pass rusher, pretty good. The Steelers got their hands full with this. They don't have Byard obviously anymore. Are they gonna be able to run the football against the Titans? I don't know, Dave.
Yeah, I don't know either.
This offensive
And they grabbed.
line.
I see here they grabbed Kavon Wallace too.
Yeah.
They just snagged him because he got put on waivers recently.
Yep.
Uh, who else? Terrell Edmonds, right?
Yeah, they have Terrell
Old,
Edmonds. Forgot about
old
that.
Terrell Edmonds. So
Yeah,
you
that's
know
that's
he's
a
going to be
downgrade.
but he's going to be hyped up one to make
Yeah,
some
true.
splash
True.
plays at Acrisure. He's going to want to.
That's a good point. That's a good
Yeah.
point.
So
Uh Steelers should be able to score on this team, but we know how that goes. Every time we think they can put up points, they don't. Well, you want to do your prediction now? You want to talk about what you think is going to happen in this game?
yeah, I think that I think at first this game's just going to go back and forth. It's going to be punt city
Mm-hmm.
on both sides of the ball. I think there'll be some adjustments made, and I think that we're going to have a hard time stopping Diop. I see us getting upset. I could see something like 17-14
Picking the
Titans.
Titans.
Yep.
Wow, David, I'm surprised.
Yeah.
All right. I don't argue with much of what you have to say there.
Real quick though, right before you say something,
Good.
the injury to Kenny, I think could play a role in this.
That's a
I
good
don't.
point.
I now and let me just say, I think the Steelers have a chance to win this game. I feel better about their odds now that Kenny's playing because he doesn't turn the ball over as much as Mitch. It's just that how much will the rib injury affect him? Two, how conservative are they going to be because he's
Oh
injured?
boy, you ain't seen nothing yet. They're going to be very conservative.
So I think the Titans know this and they're going to stack the box. Najee's going to be doing short, choppy steps back there the whole fucking game. And, Warren will try as well. I just don't think they're going to do much per usual, right? But even more compounded with what's going on with his injury. I just putting up points. I just don't. What I saw from the Titans last week, I have never seen
From the
from
Steelers.
from the Steelers
Yep.
right now.
100% right. 100% right.
I have not seen it since we'll say since Kenny took over. I have never seen what I saw from Titans last week with Will Levis.
Yeah. I don't remember the last Steelers game that I was excited that the offense dominated.
Right. So that's my point. And so look, it's like you think if anybody think I want to pick the Titans, no. But if I had to bet my life on it, guess what? I think I might go with the Titans just for the pure fact Kenny's got that rib injury. I could see us going either way. It could be Steelers 17-14 or Titans 17-14. Yeah, you could give the home team the advantage, but as we saw with the Jaguars, at home team shit didn't matter. But the rib injury concerns me. I think they'll go so conservative. Heavy run game. And the Titans will know it. And they're going to stack the box. They're going to know what play's coming, just like every team says. And this is what we're going to deal with. I swear to God, if you say the Steelers are going to win 30-10, I'm turning this off right now.
Dave, if you ever hear me predict the Steelers score 30 points, just send somebody to come get me.
You've predicted some doozies this season.
Yeah, but
the
never
49ers
30 points by the Steelers offense.
Rough.
Listen, I was wrong on that one.
I'm just saying,
I will never pick the Steelers to score 30 points until they've done it 2 or 3 times consecutively. Yeah. Then I might start picking it, but until that time, no chance.
Yeah.
I think the Steelers are going to win this game, but some of the points you made, the Kenny Pickett injury / Steelers getting conservative makes me very nervous.
Yeah.
Just when we think Matt Canada's actually made some play calls, gotten out of his box and made some different play calls and some good ones. Yeah, I could see Tomlin going up to him and saying, that was cute and fun. Go back to what we were doing before. Yeah. Conservative, only the sidelines, nothing through the middle. We're going to run the ball, Najee, 3rd and 5, pray for, a first down. Boy, I don't know, man. I'm going to take the Steelers in this game.
Okay.
This is good. Like I said, it's going to be a rock fight. This is going to be 2 ugly teams.
Yeah. It is.
right down to
It
the
is.
wire. Boz at the end wins it 16-13.
So you're around where I'm at.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Will Levis is going to struggle. I think
That's my
Highsmith
hope.
and Watt could eat in this game. They could really have a big game. Tomlin mentioned moving TJ Watt around to get some of the pressure off him with the triple and double teams. They didn't move. They only moved him once
Yeah.
off
One
the
time.
whole game.
Yep.
Sometimes
I
Tomlin
know.
just talks out of his ass. There's no other way to put it. This guy's getting. When you watch the All-22, he gets chipped by the running back, or chipped by the tight end, and double teamed by the right tackle. I'm sorry, and the running back. Basically triple teamed on almost every snap, every passing snap. Free this guy up.
Right.
Move him around to the middle, to the left. Blitz somebody inside him if you have to. If they're going to triple team TJ Watt, there's got to be an opening. You would think.
I would definitely disguise some blocks. Disguise some blitzes
on his side
when you're facing a rookie.
Yes.
Disguise some blitzes with other people.
I think you'll see that.
Make them pay for it. I talked about this on X with some people. Dude, I would definitely disguise some blitzes for this rookie and put the pressure on him. At Acrisure, but I think that's the only way I see the Steelers winning. It is, again, just like I saw with the Jaguars game. They have to turn the ball over.
Yep. Every game they have to.
Yeah.
Every game they have to.
But the problem is the offense is so bad that even when they get turnovers, it doesn't amount to anything.
No, I agree.
Even get the head coach going, wow, the defense didn't do it good enough.
No, that's the strangest thing he ever said in a press conference.
And so it's just like, dude, the only thing better they can do is intercept it and score the touchdown for the offense. They've done that before too. So what do you want? But that's why I don't want to be dire. I don't want to be negative. I'd love to say that the Steelers are going to win this game. It's just that what have you shown me that may make me think that you're going to win this game? You're facing a team that's essentially you.
It's true. They're very similar in a lot of ways.
They can't do shit with the ball, but they sure shit did last week.
Yeah. The difference is they have Henry at running back, who's just a monster. Keeps them in games, keeps games close. And even though he's not having a Derrick Henry type year, he's still got a lot in the tank.
Yeah, I just got the Titans final injury report.
Okay.
Let me make a liar to me here. Let me click on it. For the Titans, final injury report for Steelers game: Tannehill, McCreary, Hubbard, Brown are out. So they don't have Hubbard. They're starting right tackle. He's out. Oh, DeAndre Hopkins has a toe. He's questionable.
Oh, God, if he doesn't play.
Did you know that? I didn't know that.
That wasn't on the last injury report.
Wow. Huh. Okay, well, good.
That changes things
I don't mean to sound so mean. I'm just saying, if he don't play, that's good news for Steelers. Big news. But them not having Hubbard's interesting. I'm also not sure. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out which Brown they're referring to. Yeah, I don't know.
That's big because that's TJ Watt's side. So
is it Mike Brown? It says no, that's not it. Well, they have they have Shaquille Brown. He's on IR. Mike Brown's on IR. I don't know which Brown they're referring to because they just said last names, but they're not playing. I can put that much. But hey, that's good for the Steelers.
Before we get out of here, so Pat Freiermuth should be back. In 3 games? If we're being completely optimistic, maybe we get Minkah Fitzpatrick back after 4 games. Let me ask you this. Can the Steelers keep themselves afloat in the next 4 games? And I'm going to give you the 4. Titans tomorrow night. Home for the Packers, at Browns, at Bengals. Can they go 2-2?
I think they can.
They need to win tonight, though, right?
I think they got to win. They have to win tomorrow night.
That's tomorrow night. I can see tonight.
I think they can beat the Packers too, though.
Yes, I do think they can beat the Packers.
I've said this for a while now. Despite their shortcomings, I've always said they could beat the Packers and the Titans. Um, Jordan Love is not that great.
No,
I'm
they're
impressed.
struggling. They're not a very good football team.
I mean, they lost to Denver, didn't they? The other day. I mean,
Yes,
well,
they
the
did.
Chiefs did
Yes, they
too.
did.
So I guess that's you can argue that with anybody. But anyways, in general, I'm just saying like these are two games they should win.
Two
Do
games
I
they have
think?
to win.
Yes. I mean, I would think,
Have
but
to.
I could argue they could beat the Browns. The Browns are the Browns. They've got their issues too.
Yeah, we don't know if they'll
Now
have
it's
Deshaun
that's
Watson.
at Cleveland
That's
though.
at Cleveland,
So
and that defense against our
right,
offense. Oof, I don't like
right.
it.
So, but it'd be an ugly game. But I think
Yeah,
but Bengals, they're gonna get destroyed. I watched that Bengals game,
yeah.
the
Bengals
49ers
are
game.
back. The Bengals are back.
Look, the Bengals made the Avengers look like they were the lollipop kids. They were that was ridiculous what Joe Burrow and them were doing. So look, they are not ready for that. With no Minka, if Minka ain't back, no way. So
Yeah, that's the big thing.
do
right?
do I think they can go 2-2? Yes, I do. But they ain't one of those two wins ain't gonna be against the Bengals. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, if there's any playoff aspirations at all, they have to go 2-2. They have to win these next
Yes.
two games because
They
that
have to
leaves
stay
them
at above 500. They
6
got
and
to stay above
5,
5. Yep. I
and
was
they
like,
go into that.
I was looking at. It's funny you mentioned that because I was looking at that today too. Let me see if I still have it right now. They're sixth right now in the AFC.
Mhm.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, they're sixth. The Browns are seventh, and then you've got the Jets also at 4-3. The Bengals are now 4-3. So the Steelers have fallen here, man, and now have let a lot of these teams sneak up and have the same record as them. And right behind them, this is nuts, but this just shows how much the Texans have turned it around. They're 3-4
Yep.
in a rebuild year. They're 3-4. So are they really rebuilding?
They just lost to Carolina, though. That's the problem.
Yeah, but that's the problem with those teams. When you're rebuilding,
whole
Dave,
AFC
you're
is-
going to have bad losses. But
Yep.
then again, Kansas City just lost to Denver, like I mentioned 2 minutes ago. So like everybody
AFC's
has
a mess.
games. It is.
You're right.
And
You're right.
this is actually a big game for the Titans because they're 3-4. They're right there
Mhm.
too. This game's shaping up to be bigger than maybe people thought it would be. This is a big game for both teams.
Both teams. It's an AFC game, of course, so that's huge.
Chargers are 3-4 as well. They had a big win the other day. They're all right there, man. You got a ton of teams in the AFC. They're 4-3, 3-4. Which path are the Steelers going to take? Are they going to bottom out and fall or not? So this is a big game. You go to 5-3. I think that puts you in that next tier compared to these other teams if they lose this week that are all right there in that bubble. That gives you a nice 2-game lead on.
Yeah. If you win this one and beat the Packers, you're 6-3.
Yeah.
Man, if you could ever steal one of those Browns Bengals games, then you're a playoff team.
Yep. Then you're there.
Then you're there. Do I expect that? Probably not. Probably not without Minka Fitzpatrick.
It's tough.
They can go 2-2, be 6-5, and then they get that 3-game, Seattle, New England, Arizona. There's 3 winnable games there after that.
Yeah.
But they need to go 2-2.
I'm really hoping that because it was in game, he got hurt, and there were so many issues in that secondary. I'm really hoping they can scheme. Now that they have a couple days to scheme for this game, they can make it a little so there's not so many mistakes. Maybe you hope that KZ looked worse than he really is. Maybe he'll have a better game.
You mean the secondary? Yeah, that was in-game thing. You're right. That's a good point.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that's what it is. I'm hoping that, when it happens in game, you're going to have chaos. You're going to have miscommunication. Just like with that ATN touchdown pass that Porter, it looked like Porter thought that KZ was going to pick him up when no. KZ was actually crashing to cover Ridley. I don't know if you heard what happened.
I heard him. Yeah, I heard
Joey
Porter.
They admitted it.
He took
Porter admitted it.
He took responsibility for it. Yeah.
So, and you're going to have that. Especially in the chaos of losing your top player. Now you're trying to figure things out.
Absolutely.
But this week, would they go more dime? Maybe I don't know. Usually they go nickel. Right. I wouldn't either. not with
You don't want
Henry, right?
no, not with
Like,
Henry out there.
like so, but
No.
you just don't know what they're going to do. I just don't know what they're going to do. But I would think they scheme to where it won't be as much, there won't be as many issues. Or I could
To
be
me,
completely wrong. He throws 4 bombs on them, and they get annihilated. I don't know. With that secondary, you just don't know.
you sell out to stop Henry, and you make Levis beat you, even with the secondary the way it is.
So stack
You
the
can't.
box.
Yeah, you
Stack the
can't let
box.
Derrick Henry go nuts in this game.
No,
You can't.
that's why I'm praying Cam's back. That's actually
Yeah.
the big announcement we need to wait for.
Yep. I mean, he could play. He could play. He's been practicing. It's definitely possible. Let me give you worst case scenario, Dave. Let's say Steelers lose. The offense scores under 17 points. Is that enough to get something going here? Does that force the Steelers to make this? Basically, does Matt Canada get fired?
No.
4-4, no. And the reason I bring this up, even though I know the answer to it, the Raiders freaking cleaned house yesterday. The Raiders cleaned house, and they're only 3-5.
Yeah.
And like I said, I put it on X today. They're only 1 or 2 lucky plays away from being the same record as the Steelers.
Yeah.
Basically, again, the same team almost. Their owner said, no, I'm done. I've seen 2 years of this. It's not working. I'm making changes. I'm not saying fire Tomlin, but Jesus Christ, make some move. Give us something. Fire Meyer. Give us something. They're not. I know.
They're not doing. They're not doing a fucking thing, bro. They ain't firing anybody. Like, it's
not that the Raiders are the franchise you want to follow, but when does the owner just have enough? Like, he had enough. Enough.
The Steelers' argument with you would be, look how much turnover the Raiders have had, and that's why they're not successful.
Yep.
That's going to be the old argument. The Raiders have too much turnover. They're on their 3rd head coach, in 6 years? Something like that?
More than that, maybe. I don't know.
It could be.
One of the worst teams.
I mean, you had, what happened with what's his name? I forget his name. I don't know how, but I forget his name. But John, I can't remember his damn name.
John Gruden.
Yeah, I remember the first name. Couldn't remember the last
shit show.
But
yeah,
Gruden, McDaniels, and who I can't remember who they had before that. But too much turnover. So that's why the Raiders are the way they are. So the argument is that you want stability in an organization. That's why the Steelers do what they do. I'm not saying I like it. Yeah. I can't stand this shit. However, they're not going to change anything. I think they feel – here's the problem. Okay. Say they fire Cam. They're just going to hand the playbook over to Sullivan or that guy they brought in to threaten
Thomas,
that
right? I think it is.
Glenn Thomas.
Yeah.
They're just going to hand them the same fucking playbook, and they may, maybe they make changes, maybe they don't. I don't know. But do you think Tomlin's going to let anybody that's not open that play? No, he's not. He's not. So firing Canada, which I wish they would, just to have the chance that maybe they change some things. Yes. But will they? Probably not. They hand the playbook to them. It's the same shit. We're going to go, people are going to be jumping off the Fort Pitt Bridge, just losing their minds over this shit. And because they're not going to change anything. You ain't going to see anything.
Would it give you a better chance to evaluate Kenny Pickett if it was a different guy for the last 10 games, or does it matter? I mean, if he's still struggling with a different guy, even though it's the same playbook, no. Yeah, you're probably right.
You're talking, they have to bring in a different coordinator altogether with a more, do I even say this, modern playbook, if you will, and see what he can do with a non-high school / Saturday-ish playbook.
Yep.
And see what Kenny can do then. Because it's going to pain us. It's going to pain all of us. If Kenny struggles or doesn't do anything to show he took a step forward, and that draft comes and they don't pick one fucking quarterback out of this group coming, right? And then they're going to tell us, well, we want to see how he does in this new system. It's coming.
That's why I've seen a few Steelers fans and journalists on Twitter, tweet out, well, it's a deep draft at quarterback if things go bad. No, they're not moving off Kenny Pickett next year. They're not.
I don't.
Unless he really just falls off a cliff, which he's not that bad. He's not. Yeah. He may not be the guy, but he's not. No, I don't think he falls off a cliff.
He's a middle as of right now, 20 games in, he's a middle tier guy.
Yep.
He's just a middle of the road guy. That's what he is. Okay.
And the Steelers think more of him, which is a problem.
Yes. He's Kirk Cousins without the legs. Well, he's Kirk Cousins with the legs. If they would let him utilize his legs, he could be a better quarterback. They forbid to do it. That's why I don't think he's going to reach his potential.
Yeah, they don't try to move him out of the pocket too much. They don't
call
quarterback draws.
Oh my God, though! But if you watch what Herbert and Allen and Mahomes and Lamar Jackson and all these guys utilize their legs, it is such a dangerous thing, and he can do it. I watched him do it at Pitt. He can do it, Dave, but they don't allow him to.
Maybe that's a little bit on him too. Maybe he should take off a little earlier instead of doing pirouettes and staring down receivers.
You can tell he likes. Look, I watched this kid at Pitt. You can tell he likes to run. Yeah. Dave, they had to change a whole kneeling rule because of him.
Yeah.
He ran for like 40 yards, 50 yards in that play, fake the kneel, like to be that athletic and then keep going. Why do you think I wanted him to get him? I said this kid is Herbert light. And I meant what I said because of what I saw. But they're not utilizing him to be Herbert light. Okay? And that's the problem. But if they would do it, I'd be interested to see what it does for this offense. Now they went to more play. They went to more play action this last game too, and it worked more, didn't it?
Yep. I mean, we've been calling for that since Roethlisberger. Roethlisberger.
And they finally did that too, which is good. But keep going. Don't stop.
But that's the problem, right? We just talked about it. They are going to stop because it's a short week and there's injuries and blah, blah. And Mike Tomlin told us in that press conference. He made it sound the younger groups might struggle in a short week, so we're gonna, take it down a notch. Translation: we're going back to week 1, week 2 of last year, where it's just hammer, Najee, throw a short out to Allen Robinson, rinse, repeat. It's gonna be bad.
Yeah.
It's too bad because some of the stuff you saw from, like I said, from Matt Canada was pretty good. Some of those play calls, going down the middle on the first pass of the game.
Yeah, no.
The other stuff we saw, he's coming out of his shell.
I did see some things that I liked, and I don't know, man.
Mike Tomlin's throwing him right back in jail.
Probably.
You are not allowed to call.
Go to jail, directly to jail. Do not collect $200. Yeah. So, dude. I don't. This is why I picked the Titans to win. I don't want to pick them, but you show me why. Prove to me why. Other than a rookie quarterback who, by the way, has almost made touchdowns as Kenny Pickett in one game.
Isn't that bad?
You tell me. I mean, that's the thing.
It's my only hope for this game is that a rookie quarterback, second star on the road, short week, it has to be a disaster. If he plays well, God help us all. If they can't stop him, I mean, and it's not exactly like you double D-hop it, and that's it. They have no other receivers. Like you said, their tight end's not that great. Just sell out to stop Henry and hope for the best. All right. That's all I have, Dave, unless you got anything else.
No, that's really it.
That's a pretty good wrap-up of the game. We'll be back on Friday to review this mess and do our legendary NFL picks. You can follow me on X at SteelSank16. Subscribe to the podcast, guys. We'll really appreciate it if you do that. Hit that subscribe button, rate, and review us. Check out our YouTube channel. We're doing another live here. What else do I have? Email the show at daver@steelsanctuary.com. Dave, give me your stuff and let's get out of here.
Yep, you can find me at X at DMC3SSP. I'm also on TikTok at Steelers Sanctuary Podcast or at SteelSank Pod. Also, don't forget, I have the Sportsbooks page for you guys at signupexpert.com/nothingness.
All right. Until next time, thank you for listening to the Steelers Sanctuary Podcast.